You owe everyone a favor. Watch the population rise. And if you want them to like you more, that only costs you who you are. Keep away from the ground. Living close to the ones who have lost. I've been thinking lately about the writing on the wall. How I died for your approval. Like this for far too long. It's like a nightmare. Doing what you want, just like a nightmare. It's such a nightmare. Trying to keep everyone happy, just a nightmare. Keep away from the ground. Living close to the ones who have lost. Have you ever felt this free? Like I am you and you are me. It's such a nightmare. Trying to keep everyone happy, just a nightmare. Keep away from the ground.
If it's Thursday, it's time for Mystic Racing League. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp tonight in the Slingshot booth. We're bringing you live racing action for race number 3 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs, live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. Charlotte has been a crown jewel of NASCAR since it first opened back in 1960. But tonight's race won't be on the classic oval. It's on the 2.2-mile, 17-turn Roval. This unique layout debuted back in 2018, and it combines Charlotte's high-banked oval with a winding infield road course, making it one of the trickiest tracks on the schedule. The Roval is no stranger to chaos. Tight chicanes on the front stretch and back stretch demand absolute precision. A single mistake can send a driver into the wall or cost multiple playoff spots tonight. Since its debut, the Roval has been an elimination race, giving fans some of the most dramatic playoff moments in recent memory. Ryan Blaney won the inaugural race in 2018. Chase Elliott made headlines with his famous lockup and rebound win in 2019, and Kyle Larson has added his name to that short but growing list of Roval winners. Unlike super speedways or short tracks, the Roval demands a rare combination of road course discipline and oval aggression. Drivers going to have to do a lot tonight if they're going to get to victory lane. Chris, fun fact about the Roval. Just outside of Turn 4, there's a man-made lake inside the Speedway grounds, nicknamed Lake Lloyd's Twin, modeled after Daytona's infield lake. It's a peaceful setting, but the action on the track tonight is going to be anything but calm. These MRL drivers hope they don't end up splashing into trouble tonight. What are they going to have to do to keep it clean and stay alive in the playoff hunt in this elimination race?
Well, the Roval doesn't necessarily have the speeds that its oval counterpart has, but the challenges are numerous. The infield section here has some of the trickiest off-camber corners these drivers might have to experience all season long, and it might leave some of them scratching their heads. Who will emerge victorious tonight? Will it be a playoff contender or a road course ringer? I don't really know. It's a big question mark tonight. These drivers have 49 laps around the Roval with 24 laps in a tank of fuel, 5 sets of tires in the pits, and stage breaks at lap 12 and lap 27. It's going to be an action-packed night all night long.
Action-packed indeed, and to get to that action, we're going to set it up with some stories, but we're also going to look at the point standings headed into the elimination race for round 1 of the playoffs. Before all of that, though, it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition here at Slingshot TV, the playing of the national anthem. And tonight, it's a little bit special, folks. Tonight, it is the 9/11 Race to Remember here from Mystic Racing League. We'll have a special moment on the pace laps, but before that, let's get to the banner. Back here live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, moments away from the start of race number 3 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs, the elimination race for 8 drivers to lock their way into the playoffs. To get there, though, let's talk about some big stories we're going to be following all night long for those of you who are tuning in. First of all, the point standings. The biggest story of the night are those 2 drivers who have already locked themselves in the playoffs, Chris. Jacob Cochran, he's Mr. Back-to-Back. He's won the first 2 races of the playoffs. It feels very reminiscent to Tony Stewart's final championship run, where he won the first 4 races of the chase. Evan Janik has locked his way in on points, but you can see on from there, just a handful of drivers are secure in their position. Chris, who are you most nervous for tonight on this playoff bubble?
Yeah, I've got my eyes on a handful of drivers, but I think right there at number 6, 6th in points, Alex Pollock, 8 points above the cut line. Derek Jewett also 8 points above, and then Joshua Gillen just 1 point above. Those drivers are currently in right now, but you can't feel comfortable if you're them. Stage points could be all the difference tonight if you're one of those drivers. And then beneath the cut line, Reggie Kime just 1 point out. Just 1 point away from getting himself into the next round of the playoffs. And Zach White, I feel like Zach White is also in contention, can realistically point his way in. Caleb Hunt, he's got a lot of work to do if he's going to do that. He's 22 points out. It's definitely possible with some trouble from some of these other drivers and max stage points tonight, but I think it might be difficult for Caleb Hunt. So I'm going to have my eyes on those 5 drivers that we mentioned before.
Those points are one of the many stories we're going to be following over the course of the evening, but let's hit our big ones for you fans at home to follow as well. First of all, this is a road course, and it's different in the sense that it's got some pretty heavy curbs that are often referred to as the turtles. Chris, how does that make this Roval even trickier than your typical road course?
Yeah, with stock cars, you can be pretty aggressive with curbing, maybe compared to some other road racing style vehicles. But here at the Roval, they've got some very unique curbing, like you mentioned, Ellis. You're going to see them, in a lot of the corners. They're blue, and they stick up really high. They're very tall. They're, as you mentioned, they're nicknamed turtles, and they can really upset the cars. Some drivers know how to use them and use them effectively. And some drivers maybe who aren't as comfortable on road courses, because these, we mostly race ovals here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Some drivers will tell you they're not as comfortable on these, and so the turtles kind of scare them a little bit. So gonna have to keep our eyes on that all night tonight.
A story right in line with those turtles, Chris. It's a road course, which means rhythm is going to be everything. And this particular road course is one that drivers talk about how difficult it can be to find your rhythm due to the aggressive nature that comes along with those high banked, typical left-hand oval turns.
Yeah, it is. And rhythm is everything on a road course, Ellis. It is paramount. You have to get in a rhythm in order to try to, corner after corner after corner. It can get very monotonous out here, and sometimes with rhythm racing, it kind of lull you into a little false sense of security. So you have to be really zeroed in, focused in, and as you say, locked in out here with all 17 turns around the Roval.
And with that, one thing we're going to be keeping an eye on is tire heat and long run consistency. Tire heat's automatically going to build up a lot faster on road courses simply based on the demand. Those tires are going to be under each and every one of these 12 corners here at Charlotte Motor Speedway's Roval. Chris, how do you do anything to save those tires and keep them good until the end of what potentially could be a long run here between stages?
Ellis, I think it's all about the launches on corner exit. I think that's where you're going to see the most tire heat be generated. And I look at the infield section of this track. There's a couple, like we talked about before, off-camber corners that you might even hear tires squealing tonight, even when drivers aren't necessarily spinning out, just because, those rear tires are heated, and that will just generate more and more and more heat in those rear tires in both the right and the left-hand turns, especially the right-hand turns here in the infield section. So drivers are going to have to be very aware of that and not try to mash that gas. Try to treat the throttle pedal like it's got an egg between your foot and the actual pedal.
And tonight there's going to be at least 10 drivers that are going to be especially interesting to watch as they try to work their way into the playoffs. Tire's going to be a premium. Rhythm is going to be critical for these drivers. And without further ado, it's about time to get the race underway, folks. It is going to be a great one tonight. But before we get there, today is obviously September 11th. And if you live in the United States of America, that is a special day just 25 years ago. Today, we pause to remember September 11th, 2001, a day of tragedy that also revealed the strength of the American spirit. Nearly 3,000 lives were lost, and countless others were changed forever. We honor the victims. We salute the bravery of those first responders. And we also recognize the resilience and unity that can define us as Americans. Let us take this moment of silence to reflect, remember, and reaffirm our commitment to the values and freedoms that make this nation so strong. All right, folks, a very special day of racing underway, but obviously today, September 11th, special for multiple reasons. Qualifying has concluded and the grid has been set for race number 3 of the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs. Let's go ahead and look at where these drivers are going to be starting tonight. Chris, on the pole, it's Evan Janica, that number 71. Last week, he locked himself into the playoffs with a great run on points. Meanwhile, Jacob Cochran qualified second. He's won the first 2 races of this round of 12. I think we're going to be seeing these two next to each other all the rest of the playoffs. Kenneth Cucko, a number 51 car, newcomer tonight. He's shown some speed on the road course here in Charlotte. Christian Barnes, the number 27, leading the Octane Outlaws Cup Series playoffs. He's starting 4th tonight. Gavin Henson, this is a guy, I think he's going to get this win before the playoffs are out. Keep an eye on that 39. He's coming from 5th tonight. Adam Holson, the number 8, another playoff driver to watch. He's going to be starting 6th. And then Derek Jewett going to be starting in 7th position tonight in that number 45, with Alex Pollock to his outside in the number 92, starting 8th. Caleb Hunt, another playoff driver, starting 9th tonight, that 78. He's got his work cut out for him. And then Brad T. Nelson, that 33. We've seen him excel on road courses as the season has gone on. He's starting 10th tonight.
And starting in the 11th spot, we've got Reggie Kime, one of those bubble drivers we're going to have our eyes on tonight. And on his outside, Joshua Gillen, another driver just 1 point to the good right now. Nick Ruffini, a driver we haven't seen so far in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. He's going to be rolling off from the 13th spot. And on his outside, Zach White. Zach's got some work to do tonight. Currently sitting 10 points back, but he has a shot to get in. On the inside of the next row, we've got Andrew Allen. Andrew Allen is a great road course racer. He's going to have to come from deep in the field tonight, starting 15th. And on his outside, Casey Bristow in the number 7. David Moyer is going to roll off from the 17th position in the 47 machine, and on his outside, Michael Wade in the number 3. On the final row tonight, we've got Justin Miller rolling off 19th in that number 95 machine, and starting shotgun on the field, Brandon Willard in the number 80.
There's your starting lineup, just about a lap and a half away from getting things going at Charlotte. Engines are fired, and we're making our pace laps. We mentioned today was September 11th, a special moment. It's going to give us an opportunity to check in with driver number 45, Derek Jewett, who's running a special paint scheme tonight on that number 45 hot rod. Let's go ahead and bring him in and see what we can expect tonight from this Roval. Derek Jewett, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy in that number 45 car.
Yes, I do. How are you guys doing?
Oh, man, we are good, and we hope likewise for you. About a lap away from the start here at the road course. We've seen you get progressively better as the season has gone on. It's been a bit of a tough bout the last couple of weeks. What's it going to take to get that thing going tonight in the number 45 here at the Roval?
Well, this is the only, I've only had one bad road course race, and that was at Road America, where I finished 11th. Everything else I finished in the top 10. There's no way, I don't think, unless Janik and Andrew Allen wreck out, there's no way I'm going to beat them. But, you know, it's the final race. We have our own race within the race of beating the 4 guys that are below us.
Well, man, before we let you go lock in, I want to ask you about that special paint scheme that's riding on board with you tonight. Tell us all about it. It is quite the looker.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of the band Nothing More. They teamed up with K9 for Warriors, so they helped anybody that is suffering from PTSD, rather if military, police officers, EMTs, firefighters, if you were sexually assaulted. They help with that, and then on the other side of the coin, they go and rescue dogs from being euthanized, rather if they're strays or just in shelters. So they train the dogs hand-to-hand contact, everything that they need to do to help these people that are in need with PTSD. So it is a great organization. My dog's on the vehicle. His birthday was yesterday, so hopefully we don't beat up the car that much.
I'm sure you'll take great care of it, man. Absolutely appreciate you. Good luck, Derek Jewett, and that number 45 playoff driver. Take it easy out there tonight, my friend.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Sir. All right, so you heard from Derek Jewett there in that number 45. Drivers lining up for the start here of the 9/11 Race to Remember here for the Mystic Racing League. Chris, before we get going, if you're the crew chief, what are you telling a driver like Derek Jewett, who's on that playoff bubble, just 8 points to the good, starting 7th? Do you play it conservative or you go for it from the start?
The start is definitely the best time to make passes here on a road course, but Ellis, if you do find yourself in trouble early on, it is very, very difficult to, recover. We do have a couple stage breaks, and that will help, but you put yourself in quite a hole on a road course if you find yourself backwards turn 1, lap 1. So I want to first survive the opening couple of laps of this race, Ellis, and then maybe try to, start picking them off one by one if possible.
I think that is a great point. We'll be watching it as we get ready to go green, folks. If you're tuning in tonight, we appreciate it. We are glad you found us. We're going to be playing a little bit of mini games in the chat bar down at the bottom of the screen. You can already see some of your comments rolling in there. Let us know who you are rooting for tonight, and more importantly, let us know who you think is going to win the race. We'll go ahead and open that question. We'll talk more about that here shortly, but pace car is peeling off. We're about ready to start this thing. Drivers will go through the chicane before they pop back up onto that front stretch to take the first green flag of the night. And look at that new animation from Barney waving that green flag. We're under here in Charlotte at the Roval. One car has a tough start. Cochran fails to get going as quickly as Janik, who slides out to a quick lead. Here they go down into the heartburn turn number 1. Everyone looks like they've gotten through cleanly, at least through the top 10. We continue on. One car sideways takes a header from the back end. We continue under green. I believe that was the 01. The 01 is around. We continue to race under green flag conditions. Everyone almost made it through there cleanly. Brad T. Nelson, watching him climb through the running order up 2 positions all the way to 10th. And it is a exciting one from the beginning. Jacob Cochran, we mentioned that restart did not go his way. He slides back into 3rd, into the clutches of Adam Holston as they work their way back onto the front stretch.
Yeah, these drivers right here, Kenneth Kucko off to a great start, Ellis, up here to the 2nd spot in his series debut. He's looking really, really steamy in that number 51 machine. Drivers right here just trying to survive, kind of tiptoeing around, like you said, Ellis, here in the opening laps of this thing. We did have one driver go sideways right here on the opening lap, turn 1, and Johnny, I do have that in a side-by-side replay if we want to take a look at it. That's the 47 machine of David Moyer, and he had some contact from behind. I believe that was the 95 of Justin Miller making some contact with the 47 machine.
Big battle going on right now for the 10th, 11th, and 12th position. They just came through the chicane. You see it there. Casey Bristow working his way by, along with Andrew Allen, who is a road course ringer here tonight. He's racing for the checkered flag, and the checkered flag alone points me nothing to that driver of the number 96 machine. He's slowly climbing his way through the field using Bristow and that number 7 as his wingman. Bristow's been fast this season as well, but Chris, last time we saw Andrew Allen, it was picking up a win at the Chicago Street Course. A little bit of controversial fashion there.
Yeah, it was a little bit, and yeah, we'll definitely have our eyes on Andrew Allen for most of the night tonight. Andrew is definitely fast on these road courses, and I'm not sure what happened to him in qualifying, but he's already up several spots, up 4 positions to the 11th spot, putting Casey Bristow under a lot of pressure right here. Look how much more aggressive he is, getting far left right there, close to the grass to set himself up for the next set of corners right here. He's not afraid to use all the racetrack out there, Ellis.
Speaking of using all the racetrack, Casey Bristow struggles a little bit there. I don't know if that was intentional or maybe just let these cars by. We saw another car, Justin Miller, go around halfway around the racetrack just a moment before that pass. But it's Andrew Allen sliding up into the 10th position. He started 15th. That number 96 car is on the move and running some of the fastest laps on the racetrack right now. Looking through the rest of the field, things have held station pretty closely. Evan Janik continues to jump out to a 2.5-second lead. As you can see him roll through the front stretch chicane there. That number 71, let's talk about the dominant season this 71 has had. Picked up the wins early, had a bit of a lull during the summer, mid-stretch of the season, but came back in excellent form, picked up a lot of top fives, and he really, Chris, I think he has to thank his early season performance for locking him into the playoffs and certainly locking him into the round of 8 so quickly here. Janik has been hard to beat on road courses this season.
Yeah, he's been one of the fastest drivers all season long on road courses. I think back to the Chicago street course race where he had just a commanding lead and ran into some hardware issues and unfortunately lost the lead on the final lap of the race because of those issues. And yeah, how lights out he was there, and you know how fast he's been all season. He has so many wins this season, and I feel like he have maybe like double those wins as fast as he's been. You know, just ran into some misfortune along the way. But if you're gonna win this thing tonight, I think you're gonna have to go through him.
I think you are indeed correct. One driver is going to have to go through another. Nick Raffini trying to work his way by Michael Wade in the number 7. That's a battle for the 11th position. You're watching him come down the backstretch there, riding on board right now with Nick Raffini in that number 04 machine. Hot on the heels of Michael Wade in that 3, who's had a strong second half of the season after making his debut here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. He works to the inside there through the turns 3 and 4, the NASCAR 3 and 4 complex, and it looks like the number 3 of Wade's not going to have anything, but they'll drive it off into the chicane here on the front stretch, one of the most dangerous parts of the racetrack, Chris, and you can see there Raffini overruns it. He came in there with a head of speed. How difficult is it to judge your brake markers down into that chicane?
It's very, very difficult, and you know these drivers are definitely going to struggle with that. It's going to be a story that we see all night. The chicane, both sets of chicanes, front stretch, back stretch, and turn 1 is also tricky. In fact, one of our playoff drivers just had some trouble in turn 1, and we might be able to get that in a side-by-side here with, that was the number 8 of Adam Holston, turning down right here into turn 1.
He's
yeah, just a little aggressive. Yeah, a little aggressive with the curbing right there, and he's sideways on the track right here.
Yeah, Holston still struggling just a moment ago. Struggles again onto the front stretch here as we ride by with Gavin Henson. Adam Holston is in trouble in the 6th position. He's really struggling right now. You can see him on the apron down there in turns, NASCAR turns 1 and 2. He really struggled on that exit corner back onto the front straightaway before hitting the first set of corners there. Let's see what he does through the backstretch chicane here if he continues to struggle. Chris, it seems like once those tires get angry and the heat is in those tires, they really struggle to maintain traction for at least a good lap or more.
Yeah, they definitely do. You have to take it easy for a couple laps, you know, just try to get, we talked about it in the pre-race, get back in your rhythm, you know, try to cool those rear tires off by treating that throttle pedal very, very nicely on these corners, trying to make sure that car is straight on corner exit before you nail the throttle right there. We can see right here, yeah, Caleb Hunt kind of struggling off of the front stretch chicane right here, and Adam Holson going to try to complete the pass.
Brad Nelson right in front of Holson, major trouble for a playoff contender, now 2 playoff contenders. Brad Nelson and Adam Holson, big trouble. Will this put us under caution? That is a playoff driver, just in the wall off of the front end of Brad Nelson. Chris, big moment there. Maybe you can walk us through what happened. That is put a heavy dent in that number 8 machine. Wow, big turn of events with championship implications.
Yeah, we might be able to keep an eye on the action right here and go back to see what transpired right here in a side-by-side. But yeah, Adam Holston and Caleb Hunt going down here into turn 1. Holston looking to the inside of Hunt. I think he was a little bit faster than him right here. And oh yeah, Brad T. Nelson bounced off the wall right there. And Nelson gets into all kinds of trouble back there with Hunt. And then Holston goes head on into the wall right there. Damages the right side of his car significantly.
That number 8, Chris, is in trouble. He's exiting onto NASCAR turns 1 and 2. He can barely make the corners, and that's Adam Holston as we watch Caleb Hunt also struggling with a little bit of damage from that incident. Adam Holston in trouble as well right now. You can see that number 8 car moving around the track incredibly slowly. That was a playoff driver. I think the good news is for Adam Holston, it's a 20-car field. He's also going to have a stage caution coming up here in about 6 laps to see if he can't make that 8 car just a little bit better. And God, that has got to be a terrible feeling for the number 8, just trying to not get any more damage on it.
Yeah, he does have a meatball right now. He does have to pit for repairs this time by, and he's going to have to use his fast repair very early, Ellis. He's going to have to use it right here on lap 6. So, you know, first things first, he's got to get to pit road. That thing doesn't look like it wants to turn very well at all, so he's really got to woe this thing down, kind of go really slow. You can see it really bouncing around right there. He's got some pretty significant suspension damage, and yeah, he's going to have to get to pit road right here, use that quick repair, probably not take any tires here, you know, try to save as much time as he can and remain on the lead lap if possible.
So just 6 laps into this cutoff race for round number 1 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. We've already seen a dramatic turn of event for some playoff drivers, including Adam Holston and Caleb Hunt. But that's Evan Janik. He hasn't put a foot wrong all night. No problem. Smooth sailing for driver number 71, who's already locked his way into the playoffs. He's now leading by almost 8 seconds on Kenneth Kucko in that number 51. Jacob Cochran not too far back. He's about 14 seconds off the lead. I think the good news is for Adam Holston, you might not quite go more than 1 lap down here, and he likely will be the first car 1 lap down. Justin Miller just now taking that moniker of the first car lap down as Evan Janik works his way by. Intense racing so far, folks, at home. If you are watching, tuning in, whether you're a regular here on Slingshot TV or you're joining us for the first time, we are so glad you have found us. Please, please, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a single dime at all, but it is the best way to support this channel, and that also includes chatting. Right now we've got some folks in the chat. Michael Wade with Wade Gaming says he's going to try to win tonight in that number 3. Currently he's situated 11th. He's got a little bit of work to do, but you never know. Also, Alex Pollock talking about the new flag animation from Barney. Joshua Gillen, he says he's got a new paint scheme tonight. We'll have to be sure to check that out. And Shady Acres Broadcasting Entertainment here rooting on Justin Miller in that number 95, currently situated 16th. Go ahead. Reggie Kime and Brad Nelson. Caution is out.
Yes, that was a track blocker possibly right there. It was looking like it could be. Drivers were coming up on the scene very, very quickly. And yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt right there, but that got really chaotic right there as they were approaching turn 7 here. Brad T. Nelson is where it started. Nelson gets, see right here, this is the entry right here of turn 5. Yeah, he kind of missed the mark right there. Yeah, and he got wide right there, bounces off the tire barrier right into the path of Reggie Kime. Nowhere for Reggie to go. And Christian Barnes also involved, and that's some significant damage on Christian Barnes' car.
That's one thing Christian Barnes could not afford, was a major mishap tonight. Looked like he would be good on points unless something went drastically wrong, and certainly that has been the case here on lap number 7. Reggie Kime, Chris, he was 1 point out of the playoff hunt, and he was actually on the inside based on where our points are currently scoring him. That will knock him out currently as heavy damage to that 9 and the 27 of Christian Barnes. Brad T. Nelson has had a rough go of it tonight, bringing out the caution for the first time. Lap number 8. I think this will likely be a quickie caution. We are scheduled to have a stage break caution at number 12. Wondering if anyone in the chat might let us know if they're following the comms, if that is going to be still the case or this will become the stage break caution. We're going to have to wait to find out, but Evan Janik, he's got the best view in the house right now. That back of the pace car, no one near him all night long since the first couple of laps. Folks, we are going to take just a moment to step away to hear from our partners here at Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, and that is Fall Creek Plumbing. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Whether it's a sudden leak or a project you've been meaning to tackle, Fall Creek Plumbing is here to help. Serving all of Central Indiana, we're a small family-owned business based in Pendleton, built on honesty, quality, and care. From slab leaks and water heaters to full plumbing upgrades and everyday maintenance, our team brings experience and craftsmanship to every job, big or small. It's not just about fixing problems, it's about providing reliable, long-term solutions for your home. At Fall Creek Plumbing, we believe in showing up on time, treating your home with respect, and doing the job right the first time. Because peace of mind shouldn't be a luxury, it should be the standard. Fall Creek Plumbing, local, reliable, professional, and proud sponsor of Mystic Racing League.
Back here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Roval, under caution for the first time tonight here in the 9/11 Race to Remember for Mystic Racing League. You're watching one car roll down pit road there. That is the number 11 machine, or actually that's number 51 of Kenneth Cucko, who came from second position, Kenneth Cucko came from second position to pit. No one else really followed him down pit road. That's Christian Barnes right behind him. We thought some drivers might come down and try to get their fuel to make it the rest of the way tonight, but Evan Janik, Jacob Cochran, Gavin Henson, and Derek Jewett, along with Alex Pollock, they all are going to wait at least till the stage break. We're going to find out what is going to happen here. Going to be taking the green flag potentially on lap number 11 for a 2-lap shootout. We're going to wait to confirm that, but Chris, the good news is if you're a fan of one of those playoff drivers, they've got a quick repair. So this night is certainly not over for them. In fact, they could still arguably come back and win this race, which brings me to my point. Down at the bottom, you see a mini game on the screen. If you want to win a free pack of NASCAR trading cards, potentially with an autograph from a driver in it tonight, simply go ahead and play our games. Now at the bottom, every chat comment also gets you points on the leaderboard tonight. You can rack up points a variety of ways, but the first way is to pick the winner. If you can correctly guess the winner right now by typing hashtag and then their driver number, which you see on the left hand of the screen, you could potentially get points and maybe even win that free pack of NASCAR trading cards, maybe with a driver autograph in it. So we'll draw your attention to those throughout the evening, but a great opportunity, at least just to connect with the racing community, enjoy some great racing. So we'll let you take a look down there at the bottom, take a look at what driver you think set up to win this race. Chris, I think that 71 might be a solid pick. So if anyone wants to type in the number sign and then 71 and hit that enter button, that could be easy money tonight. Drivers working their way around the backstretch right now. Chris, based on what we just saw, do you have any advice for the drivers here on what's looking to be a short setup here for the final part of stage number 1?
Well, I think they got a little bit of a rehearsal run on the previous, initial start of the race right there. So you might have learned a thing or two about how your car behaves on the launch, how your car behaves on the initial lap. Now, that's going to drive a little bit different now as, we've had a heat cycle through these tires for the opening about 8 laps under green right there. So, knowing that and knowing a little bit of comfort, we might see some we might see some aggression right here on this restart, Ellis. We might see some drivers try to utilize the chance that they have right now in order to make a position or two, out on the racetrack. I think that it's going to be a tall order to, make a move right here on Evan Janik. He seemed like he was pretty lights out, faster than everybody else on the track right there. Jacob Cochran was doing a nice job in third. He's going to line up second right here. Jacob he's somebody that, he's been pretty open and honest about the fact that this is not his favorite style of racing. This is not his comfort zone. I'm going to be interested to see how aggressive he decides to be right here on this restart.
Absolutely. Hey, we got someone else who thinks Evan Janik's going to be tough to beat. That's Joshua Gillen. He's a racer in this race. He even picked Janik to win down there in the chat, getting his pick in for some mini game points to add to his name on the leaderboard for that pack of NASCAR trading cards. Going to get one more lap here. Drivers did take the choose rule. Gavin Henson, that's a car I've got my eye on in that number 39 machine. That Coca-Cola 039 has been so fast this season, Chris, but unable to seal the deal. Last week we heard from him. He beat himself up quite a bit about those mistakes he thought he made with the best chance to win he had all season coming last week against Jacob Cochran, and it was a thriller down to the wire. But Gavin Henson didn't have anything to hang his head down for. It was a great performance and looking to do a couple better tonight and get that win. Currently running in the third position. Drivers working their way around here under caution. Chris, I think we're going to be coming to a 2-lap shootout here to end stage number 1. We'll see drivers probably hit pit road after that point. Fans, let us know who you think is going to win down in the chat at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for joining us. Right now, just looking through the field at some of the biggest movers on the racetrack. Chris, Michael Wade, we talked about him in that number 3. He said he thought he was going to win or had a chance to win tonight in that number 3 machine. And I'll be darned if he hasn't climbed his way up 12 positions to the 6th spot tonight for driver number 3, Michael Wade, in that throwback Junior Johnson paint scheme, making it look good here. And it's kind of a hometown race for that Junior Johnson paint scheme out of North Carolina.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, Michael has been, pretty consistent here since he debuted here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. We've seen him in this iconic Junior Johnson paint scheme all season long since he joined. And he's looking really, really steady out here right now, up those 12 positions. And, that's a really good march right there, for just 10 laps into this thing. So we'll see what he can do right here on this restart if he decides he's going to be kind of aggressive maybe and gain a couple more spots.
It's going to be an interesting restart indeed. Evan Janik, that inside car. Jacob Cochran to the outside. It's going to be Gavin Henson and Derek Jewett, the driver we heard from under the pace laps before we got going tonight. Those are your top 4. Cycling through turns 3 and 4. The NASCAR turns 3 and 4, that is. Pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn down pit lane. And a little bit differently than the typical oval, drivers will make their way down that front stretch chicane. Kind of lends itself to an interesting restart, maybe a safer restart as well. Green flag flies for the second time tonight. Evan Janik off to the races. Cochran right behind him. 1 car around. That's Raffini on the front stretch. We will continue underway. No one else gets involved in that. It's a single car incident, but right now, Evan Janik off to a 3 or 4 car lead on Jacob Cochran. There's a lap half left in this stage. Cochran doing everything he can to track down that 71, but that thing has rocket boosters on it. Cochran's now got to start looking in that rear view mirror for Gavin Henson.
Yeah, the battle is on right here for the 3rd spot. Gavin Henson under some pressure right now from Derek Jewett. Derek's trying to pounce on him right here as they're a little bit closer right here on this restart. So, and it's a train of cars right behind him. You've got Alex Pollock and you got Michael Wade following closely right here, just waiting for a possible mistake right here. And yeah, Henson a little bit wide right there as they make their way back onto the oval.
Thought Derek Jewett was going to try to make a bit of a dive bomb, an opportunistic choice, but he thinks better of it, shows a little bit of discretion there. He's going to live to fight at least another day or another lap. That is your 4th position car. Derek Jewett, who's now under pressure from the 92 of Alex Pollock, another playoff driver. All the drivers you see on your screen are in the playoffs. One of those drivers, Kenneth Kuko, not in the playoffs, trying to play spoiler tonight. But Alex Pollock, you can see that heart rate, Chris, top right of the screen, 120 beats per minute. I can't imagine being in that race car right now. Playoff points on the line here. The top 5 get points added to their total, and that could be the difference between making it into the round of 8 and missing the round of 8. White flag is out for stage number 1.
Yeah, Alex Pollock a little bit more jacked up than we've seen our buddy Brett Wren here in recent weeks, and he is he's really excited right now in that 5th spot. You see his heart rate getting close to 125 right now as he's looking to maybe try to make this move right here on Derek Jewett. They are very close right here as they work their way through the infield section. This section right here of the track, Ellis, is very tricky, all the way out there next to the grass, as close as you can get to it right here before they set themselves up for the next right-hander.
And you know what I like to see, despite how awesome this racing is, Kenneth Kuko in that number 51, showing a lot of respect for these playoff drivers. Drives it hard down into the final corner before the front stretch begins once again, but I saw him back off, didn't force the issue into the previous corners, and I think that has a lot to do with making his Fall Creek Plumbing National Series debut. Drivers send it off down into turns 1 and 2, now down the backstretch. Janik as well as Cochran work their way through the chicane, but right now we're riding on board with that number 51 of Kuko, chasing down Alex Pollock and Derek Jewett, and Kuko makes the move to the outside of Pollock, who's got to be careful not to lift it back onto the racetrack too early. Side by side, this is a battle for the 5th and final playoff point awarding position. It looks like Pollock is going to get the better of it. He's got the better position on the exit, but it's going to be Kuko who has the inside line down into the chicane, and I love the respect that we saw out of Kuko. Can Pollock pick up the 4th position from Jewett? A slow Jewett on the front straight, of the answer is no. Your top 5 as they run at the stage conclusion: Janik, Cochran, Henson, Jewett, and Pollock. And that is important because those drivers are going to be awarded points to go towards their playoff position. And tonight being the cutoff race for the round of 12, every point is going to matter. I don't know if it was ever in question whether Evan Janik was going to win stage 1, Chris, but the rest of the top 5 put on a heck of a show there with Alex Pollock rounding out your top 5, and that heart rate coming down a little bit for Alex Pollock on the top right. Evan Janik is your stage winner. We're going to try to grab a word with the driver of the 71 once we find out if he's going to be coming down pit road here in just a minute to hear. Oh, did Derek Jewett just get the wall, or he did maybe just peeled off for a second? I think he just peeled off on the exit back into turns number 1. But right now, working the second caution of the evening, the first stage caution is underway as we complete stage 1 here. Slingshot TV, Ellis Thomas, Chris Smith, Johnny Rapp in the booth bringing you live racing action. We got Muck D in the chat rooting on the number 96 of Andrew Allen. We appreciate you joining along with everyone else who's in here. Folks, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you do so now. It's the best way you can support our channel. It doesn't cost you a dime. Evan Janik working his way down the front stretch. They're trying to catch the pace car right now, Chris. Lots of gaps. Evan Janik had gotten away. Once they catch the pace car, I believe pit road is going to be open, and they just caught the pace car rolling off pit road right now. Janik will have to slow down into turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, right here, and it does look like he is going to slow down for the pace car, Ellis, and yeah, they will come to pit road this time. I'm not sure if maybe we can grab a word with him before they make their way to pit road.
Yeah, let's go see if we can do that. Let's pull in Evan Janik here into the broadcast booth. Evan Janik, it's Chris Ellis and Johnny in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy from the best seat in the house in that 71.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, well, we'll make this quick as you maybe come up here on pit road. Talk to us about how that car is handling. It looks like it's got rocket boosters on it tonight, my friend.
Yeah, it's handling pretty good. Really just making sure I take the right layout of the course, because a few times I wanted to keep turning right instead of going straight on that new straightaway. So really just focusing on keeping the rear tires under me and allowing me to not lose as much as the others on the long run.
Man, we are looking at your biggest competitor, we think, in the championship race, and that's Jacob Cochran. How desperate are you to stay in front of that 84 to get your first win of the playoffs tonight?
Yeah, it'd be nice. I've been finishing second to him, or at least right behind him, leading up to the playoffs and all playoffs. So I don't know if he's passed me with playoff points yet, but he's certainly closed the gap. So all the playoff points help for when they transfer over to the next round.
Well, man, you are doing a good job earning every possible point you can tonight with that pole award, leading the most laps, and right now collecting the most stage points so far. Hey, we're going to throw you back into your chat before you hit pit road. Remind me of what chat room it is, or channel. Sorry about that.
Racing.
5-star. All right, Evan Janik, good luck out there the rest of the night, my friend.
All right, thank you.
All right, so you heard from Evan Janik, Chris. He talked about one of the difficulties we haven't really so much talked about. This is a newer layout, and drivers just kind of ingrained in them to make that turn before that new straightaway. And yeah, I think that adds a whole new dimension into hitting your rhythm and kind of racing the racetrack tonight.
It definitely does. We were riding on board, Ellis. I was trying to talk through a lap in the pre-race, before we ever went on the air, and I wanted to keep on turning right also. The new straightaway caught me out as well, so I know what he means, after a few years of the previous layout. It's kind of tricky to get used to as these drivers are going to head to pit road.
Pit road battle is underway. They hit the 45-mile-an-hour pit road for the first time tonight. That is Evan Janik leading them down. We'll keep an eye on the pit stop times to see who can pull off the fastest pit stop and potentially gain some track position. And more so than most times this season, Chris, track position is critical here on a road course, especially with such difficult turns at some points. Speaking of turns, they make their way into their pit stalls.
Yeah, they do right here. We're going to have a little bit of a jumbled up order right here. We're going to have some drivers who stayed out. So Evan Janik is going to be in a little bit of traffic right here on this restart, even if he can come off pit road first. And it looks like he will come off pit road first in that number 71 machine.
Janik makes his way off of pit road. I think we might have seen someone, Joshua Gillen, maybe a taker on. You know what, Chris? I don't think he hit his pit box.
Yeah,
I think he might have missed his pit box.
Yeah, it looks like he drove through pit road, and yeah, I mean, it's sometimes with a little bit of chaos down there, might have missed it, and yeah, I just went back and looked. Sure enough, he missed his stall. So.
Well, speaking of missing things, we didn't hear from Connor Lyons last night. I was a little bit worried, but Connor's in the chat tonight. He says, how's it going, everybody? Rooting for Evan Janik and that number 71, Brianna, so sorry. We're also so happy to see you back tonight as well. Thanks for everyone joining in the chat. You're watching live racing from Slingshot TV and the Mystic Racing League. It's race number 3 of the playoffs here for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Working our first stage caution of the night. Going to be getting ready to go racing here once again in just a few moments. Folks, we're going to take one moment to hear from our partners at Whiplash SimCams. We promise we won't stay gone long. Hang around. You're not going to miss a moment of green flag racing. We'll be right back after the break. Back here in Charlotte at the Roval, just about a lap and a half away from the restart. Stage 2 coming up here for the Mystic Racing League. A little bit of pit strategy playing out on that last cycle, folks. That's Kenneth Kucko, newcomer to Mystic Racing League, and that number 51 machine. Not used to seeing him out here and not get used to that paint scheme, but Andrew Allen second. Chris, story with these two cars, they came down pit road on that lap number 9 caution, just 3 laps before we hit the end of stage number 1. What do you make of that call? Do you like it?
I like it a lot. I think it was a great call. I'm surprised that we did have a lot of drivers come to pit road with them as well, but they elected to come to pit road here under caution as well. I was a little surprised by that because that was a good way to gain some track position. So, yeah, it seemed like Kenneth Kucko drove a little bit harder than Andrew Allen did on the restart. He almost got back up to the top 5. So I wonder if maybe Andrew Allen was maybe kind of taking it a little bit easy on his tires. Regardless, we've seen a lot of speed out of Kucko tonight. So I'm not surprised at all to see a great strategy move out of him right here. And putting yourself out front on a road course is definitely a great call. And we'll have to see if he can hold on to that lead.
Speaking of out front, he's not out front right now, but sitting back in the 7th position. We mentioned that number 3 earlier. I was doing a little bit of research. I don't know if I'd even call it research, but looking at my live timing here, in that car, that number 3, Michael Wade, has run the fastest lap of this evening, Chris, with a 3. That was a dumb mistake.
That's okay.
I'm just going to take it back. He ran the fastest lap under caution just a moment ago. I got excited because I was like, oh, maybe someone has some speed for that 71 tonight, and plenty of drivers probably do, but we're just going to pretend like I wasn't going to make that point as drivers work their way around here. Getting ready to come back onto the front stretch, getting ready for NASCAR turns 1 and 2. Folks, we are so happy you joined us tonight. Let us know what driver you are rooting for in the chat tonight. Every comment in that chat will get you points towards becoming the winner of that free pack of NASCAR trading cards from Panini, which very well could have a NASCAR driver autograph in it. We're giving away 7 packs here this season, and one of those packs is guaranteed to have that autograph card. So someone's going to walk away a big winner, guaranteed. Brianna Fondren, John Rapp in the chat as well. John, hopefully you are doing well. Glad to see you here tonight. Yeah, big racing so far here in Charlotte. Update on some of our playoff drivers right now. Alex Pollock was 8 points to the good. He's sitting in 6th position. I'm feeling pretty good about that 8. Derek Jewett was 8 points to the good as well. He's sitting in 5th. I feel even better about him. Joshua Gillen, Chris, 1 point to the good. Made a mistake on that last pit cycle. It's put him all the way back, I believe, to the 12th position. He's going to need to get the move on because Reggie Kime has had a fast race car tonight. The Kime machine sitting currently in the 13th position right behind Joshua Gillen. So that's a kind of a big race within a race going on. We'll be keeping an eye on those two drivers fighting out for that final position in the round of 8 here in the playoffs. Right now, driver of the pace car getting ready to make that left-hand turn down pit road. It's going to be Kenneth Cucko and Andrew Allen. Stayed out that time after getting tires 3 laps before. Let's see how that pays off here. Almost contact. Andrew Allen struggles on the restart. It stacks up Henson and Alex Pollock as well as Jacob Cochran. And boy, Kenneth Cucko is off to the races here as they race down into that heavy left-hand corner. Evan Janik not too far behind, but big racing further behind them as they wind their way through turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, the fight is on right here, back where Alex Pollock, Michael Wade are. That's a side-by-side battle for the 6th position. Pollock has great positioning right here on the inside, and he's going to make a couple of passes right there. And they're still side-by-side back there around the 6th, 7th, 8th position. Adam Holson looking to make up some ground from his early troubles. We're going to get past a couple of drivers here. Oh, as Pollock is sideways!
Fortunately, off at the right part of the track. I think Pollock is going to miss the retaining wall. Almost timed it perfectly. If ever there was a perfect timing for a spin, that's going to be a big playoff story. Alex Pollock was 8 points to the good over Joshua Gillen and Reggie Kyman. This is going to throw him back into the clutches of both of those drivers. Looks like Alex Pollock back to 15th position with that spin, struggling to get grip back in those tires after making them angry here on the first lap of stage number 2 here from the Charlotte Roval. Pollock currently running in the 15th position. Adam Holston continues to try to track down Michael Wade, though, in that number 3 machine. Michael Wade, courteous move from driver number 8, is going to let him by. Driver number 3, Michael Wade, not a playoff driver, showing a lot of deference. And that was one thing, Chris, I was interested in tonight. How deferent would those non-playoff drivers be towards the drivers who are locked into that round of 12? And I think we've seen our answer a couple times tonight. A lot of respect being shown out there, and that's been the trend all season long, especially as we've gone along.
Yeah, you see Michael Wade right there, Kenneth Cucko right there coming to the stage break also. Yeah, a lot of respect being shown by the drivers. They're out there to race, and they want to win, the drivers who aren't in the playoffs. But yeah, they're definitely out there trying to do their very best to, not be a factor and influence here in the championship battle. Meanwhile, we're back up here to the front right here. Evan Janik has the lead over Kenneth Cucko. While we watch Evan Janik, we might be able to go side by side right here and look at the battle right here for the 6th position. Jacob Cochran, Adam Holston, and the number 3 machine right there of Michael Wade. These drivers, of course, the moment that we go there, they settle it out right here as they were very, very close right there through the infield section. But these are some drivers right here. I think that Jacob Cochran kind of got, I think he got in a little bit of trouble on that restart. Maybe his lane wasn't the one that was moving, and he lost some spots. So he's looking to move back up right here.
Speaking of moving up, Gavin Henson in the 4th position, looking to move up to 3rd. Andrew Allen slipping back into the clutches, just about 2 car lengths up on driver number 39, a playoff driver against a non-playoff driver here down into the front stretch chicane. That you can see them how heavy that curbing is, I should say, in those chicanes. You can see the cars bouncing around as Gavin Henson looks to try to figure out where he can make that move on the 96 of Andrew Allen, maybe setting him up for a pass here in turns 3 and 4, a fairly high-speed complex.
Yeah, we saw Andrew Allen struggle a little bit on that restart and lost a little bit of ground, but it seems like that car's up to speed right here on slightly older tires. Not, significantly older, but slightly older right here as Gavin Henson, man, look at Henson roll right here up the hill, going down here into the right-hander. Henson's looking to maybe make this pass right here in the next lap or two while he has this tire advantage. Oh, as they get close, some contact.
Big moment there for driver 96 and 39. You saw it riding on board with the 39 of Henson. They settle it out at least for the next couple of corners. It's about a 2 or 3 car length lead for Andrew Allen over Gavin Henson. Great racing going on currently for the 4th position, but further back in the 11th position, Christian Barnes makes his way by Caleb Hunt. That's a battle for 10th position. You can see Barnes now in front of the number 78 as they head down into that backstretch interloop or chicane. The 27 Domino's machine, after early trouble, seems to be finding his pace and finding his rhythm. He is a playoff driver who is 22 points to the good in the cutoff, and it looks like he's going to maintain a pretty solid footing here. We were worried about him early, but I think if you're a number 27 Christian Barnes fan, I think things are going to be okay, pending that he doesn't get involved in another caution. Couple comments in the chat. Mr. Newcomer, or M. Newcomer, interesting comment here, Chris. He's watching our heart rate monitor up there. He says, was racing IndyCar last weekend in the lead at Michigan, late caution, and it was a shootout at the line. 142 beats per minute in a 2/1000ths of a second victory for M. Newcomer. So congrats on that win, my friend, but please, I'm glad you're okay after getting that BPM up to 142. Also, Connor Lyons. Connor, I promise that diecast is coming. It's been a couple of busy weeks. I've got that thing sitting on my desk at work in an envelope ready to ship out to you. I promise, don't you worry. It's going to get to your doorstep so you can put it on your shelf before you know it. Same for you, Brianna. You know the teacher life. Things stack up, and plan is to get those out tomorrow. Riding on board with Andrew Allen in that number 96. He's driver in P3 right now. We saw him really build a lead over Gavin Henson. It was a couple of close laps of racing there, but Andrew Allen seems to have won out on that battle. Brianna asking about the playoff cut line. What's the cutoff after tonight? It becomes an 8-car field. An 8-car field. They'll race 3 more races beginning with Kansas next week, and they'll narrow it down to the top 4 in the final race of the season at Homestead. So after tonight, just 4 races remaining. Watching 1 car make their way down pit road. That's Kenneth Kuko in that number 51/number 11. Chris, I think that is an interesting strategy. Stage number 2 coming to a close in just about 6 laps. Are we seeing something similar to what we saw Kuko do at the end of the first stage?
Well, he didn't make a pit stop. He just drove down pit road. I'm not sure. I'm going back right here to see if I can see what happened. I'm not sure if there was a penalty. Yeah, he drove down pit road and did not make a pit stop. So I'm not sure what happened there.
Maybe a corner violation. Ooh, almost a close contact there. I think maybe some corner violations very well might have added up. John Ullman, the race director here for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, does a phenomenal job being the eye in the sky, and he very well might have gotten that driver, but I think it's been a tough going tonight for a lot of drivers. We saw Brad T. Nelson involved in a couple crashes. Right now, several drivers out of the race currently. Looks like David Moyer, Casey Bristow, Justin Miller, and Chris, I believe that actually might be Caleb Hunt, might be out of this race. He's manually disconnected. I think he might be throwing the flag in on his playoff hopes. Caleb Hunt currently on the outside looking in. He's retired for the night, so playoff development there. That's going to be good news if you're a driver battling him for the playoffs position. Speaking of battle, we got one right now on the track between Michael Wade and Christian Barnes.
Yeah, right here, Christian Barnes is going to make the pass. I've been watching him for the last few moments right here. Yeah, he was able to make up a lot of ground on Michael Wade. over the course of this last half a lap right here. And he's going to work his way by. And not too far behind Michael Wade is Nick Ruffini in that 0-4 machine. He's also looking to make some ground up as well. Maybe smelling some blood in the water right here on the number 3 machine of Wade. Looking to see maybe if he can work his way around him also.
Just about 5 laps left in stage number 2 here. A couple questions in the chat. They're wondering the playoff picture, why we can't put it up on the right hand of the screen. Well, we are not NBC. We do not have unlimited funds, time, or graphic designers to pull that off. We wish we could, and if you know anyone who could help us out with that, let us know. We've got Chris Pierce, who does an amazing job. But yeah, look, I'm simple-minded. I'm speaking for myself. I can only keep up with so much on the screen at one time and so much numbers, and I think the playoffs might break me. I might not even be able to do play-by-play here. So we'll kind of keep you updated on those playoff drivers as you're watching on board with a driver who's not a playoff driver. That's Ruffini chasing down Michael Wade, and Christian Barnes, the only playoff driver in that picture, but he's kind of walked out of that picture as he pulls away on that battle for the 8th position.
Yeah, and we might be able to go side by side right here and look at the battle also going on between Gavin Henson and Jacob Cochran right here. Cochran was ahead of these guys, but I'm not sure if something happened right here, but the driver of the 84 is looking to put some pressure right here on the 39 of Gavin Henson. There's Cochran in the 84 machine closing in on the rear bumper of Gavin Henson. Henson just up ahead. He's been real steady all night in the 39 machine, and these drivers right here, you know, he's also maintained touch with Andrew Allen. So I think a lot of these drivers right here, you know, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position, I think they're really, really close on speed tonight, Ellis. They're very, very evenly matched.
I think it's going to be a great battle, certainly at least to the end of stage number 2 here. Getting ready to cross over the halfway point in the 9/11 race to remember, folks. As you know, today in the United States is 9/11, a day which shall live in infamy. 25 years ago in 2001. Country witnessed a big contact there between Ruffini and Michael Wade. What happened there, Chris?
Yeah, it looked like Ruffini was trying to complete the pass right there as they came up onto the NASCAR banking section of the racetrack. And just a little bit of contact right there at turn 7 between them. A little bit of a hip check. As Wade is going to come right back at him, showing the nose down there. Yeah, and that's a nice crossover move right there from Michael Wade. Got Ruffini looking in the mirror, I think, right there. This battle's not done yet.
Not done indeed. They go through NASCAR turns 3 and 4. Wade got the better of Michael Ruffini there, or Nick Ruffini, I should say, as they head down into the bus stop, or I should say the front stretch chicane. Ruffini closes to about 2 car lengths. Big moment there. Michael Wade slowed down in a way that Ruffini did not anticipate. Ruffini almost got into his left rear or right rear quarter panel.
Yeah, that was really close right there. I think Michael Wade maybe overdrove the entry to the chicane right there. Had to overslow mid-corner in order to make the chicane. And yeah, I think that Brandon Willard, one of our league admins, is letting us know about some of those pass-throughs we've seen on pit road. That those are coming from, you know, shortcutting the backstretch and the front stretch chicane. So Race Control's got the eye in the sky has got his eyes on those trouble spots tonight.
Absolutely. Race director doing a great job here. Just 3 laps remaining in stage number 2 for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, race 3 of the playoffs. That battle continues, but Gavin Henson, as we watch right now, has chased down Andrew Allen. They've really been glued together for the better part of this stage, Chris. It's about 8 car lengths looking back from Andrew Allen's rear bumper to the front end of the 39, and Gavin Henson continues to stay a vision in that mirror and hounds that number 96, a non-playoff driver versus a playoff driver. Gavin Henson with a great season, a picture of consistency. And really, I think Gavin is a great story in just terms of getting better and better and better as the season went on. A great opportunity to win the race last week and did a heck of a job almost pulling it off, but wasn't able to walk away with the victory at Bristol in race number 2 of the playoffs. But hey, tonight, depending on, you never know what's going to happen in the final laps here, especially at the Roval. That 39's not out of the hunt yet, nor is Andrew Allen, who's our Chicago Street Course winner from earlier on this season.
Yeah, not at all. And yeah, I think that Gavin Henson in the number 39 machine, almost liken him to Sheldon Creed in the Xfinity Series, the real-life Xfinity Series. You know, Sheldon Creed's been really, really fast for several seasons, and it's almost like you just can't believe that he hasn't won a race yet. And I kind of, you know, liken him to Sheldon in that sense right here. Sheldon has been so fast, just like Gavin Henson's been so fast here. We know that win is coming before the end of the season, as one car is in a lot of trouble, Ellis. That's the number 33 machine of Brad T. Nelson. That car is smoking heavily around the racetrack. In fact,
almost looks like someone got in the back of him, maybe.
Yeah, Johnny, I do. If we want to go side by side right here, I do have a replay of what occurred right here with Brad T. Nelson entering turn 1 right here. Just goes a little bit wide right there.
Ooh.
The heartburn turn. I don't think it's actually branded that anymore, but yeah, the heartburn is still real.
And that's the second time we've seen Brad T. Nelson, driver of the number 33, do that. Last time it happened, it collected Adam Holston in that number 8 machine. Holston has since recovered back into currently Holston's running in the 12th position. He's on the lead lap, biding his time right now, I think, till the end of this stage, which is going to be in just about a lap and a half. We watch Holston working his way down that backstretch chicane in that number 8 machine. That'll just every week. It's a great looking scheme. You can't get enough of that MLB All-Star Budweiser machine, that throwback to that 2001 race in which Dale Jr. won the first race back at Daytona after his father's passing in that year's Daytona 500. Holston now looking like he might make the way down pit road. An early stop, maybe electing to come down pit road, not lose a lap, and be set up for good track position on the restart here coming after stage 2 concludes.
Yeah, definitely a good call right here. Unfortunately for him, I think he's going to go a lap down because Evan Janik has such a massive lead. Janik is right here on the front stretch, working his way down closer to turn 1. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, I think, for the number 8 machine of Holston. He's going to fall a lap down right here, so he's going to have to take the lucky dog to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think you are right. He's got a good gap. Brad Nelson is the next car, 2 laps down. So Holston, unless something goes incredibly wrong on this pit stop, is set up for the lucky dog, but it's going to mean he can't advance his track position there from the... Oh, Chris,
did he retire?
Big moment. Adam Holston is manually disconnected from this race. He's going to finish, best case scenario, 13th tonight. Major playoff development. And looking at the points, I'm trying to figure out how many points that driver has to have to make his way into the playoffs. Chris, if you can fill real quick, I'll take a look.
Yeah, you go ahead right here as Evan Janik is going to work his way on the NASCAR oval portion of the section. We are working lap 27. This is the final lap of stage 2, and it has been the Evan Janik show from the drop of the green flag here. He has a 17, almost 18-second lead over Andrew Allen, a very confident road course racer in his own right. And Evan Janik making it look really easy right here around the Roval. Works his way through NASCAR turns 3 and 4. Going to approach the front stretch chicane right here that so many drivers have had troubles with all night long, but he's going to make it look easy in that 71 machine, and he's going to receive the green and white checker this time by.
Yeah, and right in front of him, I'm not sure who that driver was, had to do a stop and go. That is the car, the number 50. I'm not sure what car that was. I'm not even going to try. But stage 1 has come to an end. Getting ready here for the conclusion as the last 5 cars, the top 5, cross that green, that start-finish line across the front straightaway. There's Andrew Allen, makes it by. Gavin Henson not going to be too far behind him. We'll wait on Jacob Cochran and Kenneth Kuko, the final of the top 5, before Barney waves that checkered flag for the end of stage number 2 here. And update on Adam Holston, Chris, I can pretty much say without any sort of doubt that Adam Holston, plus 40 headed in, is locked in and probably had enough of the heartache he was dealing with out there. Parked it and is going to live to fight another day at Kansas. I believe he is simply by starting tonight, locked his way into the playoffs. And Gavin Henson not too far off that position. I think the biggest driver who could be in trouble if something else were to go wrong is Christian Barnes. That big bubble battle, though, folks, is 6th, 7th, and 8th. Pollock, Jewett, Gillen, and Kime. Those are the drivers we're going to be keeping an eye on all night long as the caution flag waves here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. We're under caution for the 4th time tonight for the end of stage number 2. Getting ready for the final run to the checkers. It's going to be a 20-lap shootout or so here at the Roval. Evan Janik has dominated all night long. Only a couple of drivers have been able to show similar speed. Andrew Allen, Gavin Henson, and Jacob Cochran. Kenneth Cooko as well, Chris. I think that might be the driver that I've got my eyes on. If anyone can challenge Janik tonight, maybe that 51's got something under that hood and under those 4 tires that can get him up to the lead on a restart here.
Yeah, he's run into a little bit of adversity tonight with the pass-through penalty that he had. But yeah, he definitely looks to be one of the only people to be able to run close to the lap times that Evan Janik has had. Janik's really been in another zip code tonight around the Roval. But yeah, Kenneth Cooko made a nice recovery right here to get back up here to the 5th spot after having to serve that pass-through penalty. So we're going to see how these pit stops shake out right here. Still have our eyes on some of those bubble drivers. You talked a little about Adam Holson. I don't blame you, Adam, for turning it in tonight. If I was out there on the track, I might consider it as well, just because this is not one of my favorite tracks to drive on, Ellis.
Not one of my favorite tracks either. I know how you feel about it. You may or may have not compared it to a parking lot every time we talk about it. And I think you'll probably be glad when this is off the official NASCAR calendar. Are we going to the Roval next year? I think we are in the Cup Series, yeah?
It's on the schedule,
Okay.
which is mind-boggling to me when they've got this perfect oval here, that puts on great racing these days. But these Fall Creek Plumbing National drivers, they've been weathering all the difficult turns out here tonight. They've made it look a lot easier than how it looks when I'm out here, Ellis.
Yeah, I did. I'm the same way. I remember a moment where we might have wrecked each other at the Roval a couple of years ago, coming back up onto the front straightaway, if I remember correctly. Not a friendly track to either one of us. We'll be glad to get out of here, the booth tonight, in one piece, as I'm sure these drivers will. Working our way around the track under the final stage caution of the night. Just 20 laps left here from the Charlotte Roval. It's been a pleasure so far, folks. Slingshot TV, Ellis Thomas, Chris Smith, Johnny Rapp in the booth tonight for the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. If you haven't heard us mention it so far, this is a playoff cut-off race for the round of 12. Only 8 drivers will advance to the round of 2, which begins, or the second round, I should say, that begins next week at Kansas. That one is going to be an exciting race indeed. We might have a special diecast giveaway plan for that one. Maybe a Kansas Wizard of Oz related 1/24th scale diecast that we are going to be giving away next week for race number 1 of round 2. Evan Janik working his way through the corner here down pit road. These drivers come. Andrew Allen going to follow the 71 of Evan Janik, along with Gavin Henson, Jacob Cochran, and Kenneth Cooko rounding out your top 5. Track position, Chris, it's been a premium tonight. How eager are you to get a good pit stop and off first?
Pit stops are critical tonight, Ellis. You got to have the position on the restarts when you line up right here. And I'll be honest with you, Ellis. Without the choose tonight, I really, really want an inside position. What I've seen so far, the launch in the chicane, the front stretch chicane, I think the drivers that start on the outside rows are at a significant disadvantage right here. So who knows if we might see some games played here on pit road. It doesn't look like we will. Evan Janik is going to clearly be off pit road first, followed by Andrew Allen and Jacob Cochran.
Yeah, Jacob Cochran got off there. Gavin Henson might have been the biggest loser, losing a couple spots on pit road there. He's going to come off 4th. Just lost 1 spot, I should say. Speaking of that number 39 car, might be a good idea to see if we can't get driver 39 on the phone here. Give me a second to pull him in, see if we can't figure out what's happening and what his experience is out there like on the track right now. Driver 39, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, tough week last week. You had nothing to hang your head out with that second-place finish. Tonight, though, you got that 39 car locked into the 3rd position, pretty much locked yourself into the round of 8. What is it going to take to get by that 71 car tonight, my friend?
A prayer. I don't know. It's going to be tough, but he's actually getting a drive-through here after the green flag, so...
Oh, what happened? Can you shed some light on maybe what's going on with the 71?
Corner cutting penalty inside the 2 to go, or 2 laps left when in the stage when the pit's closed. He didn't have time to serve it, so he's gonna have a green flag.
Oh,
drive
man,
through.
big
So
moment there. So this could set up an interesting thing. Okay, let's ask you, what's it take to get by that number 93 or 96 of Andrew Allen then?
well, I spent the last run trying to figure it out, and the only thing I got out of it was not to burn up my tires, because I burnt my tires up and he drove away. So I got to figure out how to not do that.
So tires are a premium here, man. We'll be keeping an eye on you in the booth. We're going to move you back over. Is it Water Force Racing?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Good luck. Tell Christian we said hi.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, a couple of interesting, juicy details we learned from that driver interview. First of all, in a moment, you're going to see Evan Janik take that restart as the leader, but it's not going to last because he has been ordered down pit road for a corner cutting violation that could not be served under caution or under green flag conditions due to that stage coming to an end. And it looks like we're going to take one more lap around here, but that's going to have to be served under green flag conditions. Chris, currently 12 cars on the lead lap, and there is no guaranteed caution anymore. This is going to be tough for Evan Janik. I think we're going to see a driver hell-bent on getting back up to the front as quickly as he can. He's going to have to make up a lot of time, and we very well might have seen that 71 lose his chance to win the race with just what's going to be 18 laps remaining at the Roval. What do you make of the turn of events here?
It's a significant penalty, Ellis, because he can't serve it under yellow right here and just start at the tail end of the pack. And also, it's not, he would have loved to probably have served it under green back then when he had an 18-second lead. The field is all bunched up right behind him, and so he's going to be at the tail end of the lead lap. He's going to come off pit road in the 12th position, Ellis, and he's going to have to work his way through any lap down cars. I don't see, there's only a couple of them who are still on the track right here, so there's not a significant amount of traffic. It's going to be the amount of racetrack that he's going to be behind. So he's going to be in some clean racetrack when he comes off pit road, and I guarantee you we're probably going to see some blistering laps out of that 71 machine. He's got to make the most of the clean air here on the restart to be able to make up as much ground as he can.
We're going to be keeping an eye on those lap times. Certainly, when he comes down pit road for to serve that penalty, it's going to put Andrew Allen and Gavin Henson as the front two cars. And they've been nose to tail all night long, including right there as we watch them come off back onto the front straightaway to hit NASCAR turns 1 and 2. Folks, if you are just tuning in, you have chosen an excellent time to do so. In fact, send your friends for what is setting up to be an amazing finish. We'll even throw in a couple points on the chat leaderboard tonight for that free pack of NASCAR trading cards, maybe with a driver autograph in it. If you send some friends our way and they type and they let us know in the chat who sent them, we'll also throw some bonus points your way on the leaderboard. Currently, your leaderboard is as follows. Evan Janik, Andrew Allen, Gavin Henson. That's your top three. Jacob Cochran is fourth. Kenneth Cucko, newcomer in the 51. He is currently scored in the 5th position. Christian Barnes has worked his way back up to 6th after early troubles. Michael Wade continues to run 7th. Nick Raffini, newcomer in that 04 in 8th. Alex Pollock in that number 92, a playoff driver. You can see that heart rate above 100 right now. He's in 9th. And Joshua Gillen, I know he's got some friends in the chat and family in the chat right now. Currently, that number 10 car is scored in 10th position. Gridding up for the restart side by side. It's going to be 18 laps remaining here from the Roval, and what is guaranteed to be an epic finish to this 9/11 race to remember here for Mystic Racing League. Pace car makes that hard left-hand turn down pit road. As soon as these drivers hit that Toyota sign in the chicane, the green flag will wave. That is the restart zone, and there it is. Evan Janik takes the lead. Andrew Allen second on the outside. He might as well just let Janik go because Janik's going to have to serve a penalty any minute. They head down into turn 1. Will these drivers make it through safely? The answer at the moment is yes, but that battle for the lead continues to simmer here with the number 96 Andrew Allen hot on the tail of Evan Janik, who's going to try to build as big of a lead as he can. Runs wide in turns 3 and 4, but continues to march out further in front of Andrew Allen, who's worrying about Gavin Henson, who's got a mirror full of Kenneth Cucko.
Yeah, Andrew Allen got a much better restart this time right here on the outside lane. I think he learned a lesson on the previous restart, and he applied it right here. Kenneth Cucko putting a lot of pressure right here on Gavin Henson. He's going to set up wide trying to see maybe if he can get to the right rear. Can't quite do it right there in turn 7. They're going to hit the banking right here in NASCAR turns 1 and 2. Coco seeing right here, maybe if he can get a run off of NASCAR turn 2, set up maybe a possible lunge into the backstretch chicane.
Lunge into the backstretch chicane is the move for Cucko underneath the 39 of Henson. They almost make contact, separated by a sheet of paper.
Oh, Henson
goes around, collects Cucko. They continue through the chicane. One playoff driver, one non-playoff driver having an altercation through one of the toughest portions of this Charlotte Roval. Meanwhile, Evan Janik makes that left-hand turn to come down pit road from the lead, giving it up after leading all 32 laps tonight.
Yeah, a tough break for Evan Janik right here. Can't speed on pit road, can't exacerbate this position, but he was able to maintain the lead on the restart, Ellis. He put himself in the best position he could possibly put himself in right here, and he's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to try to work his way back through this field.
And now it's Jacob Cochran with Kenneth Cucko not too far behind. It's Andrew Allen. Jacob Cochran and Christian Barnes, about 8 car lengths separate all 3 of those cars currently on the racetrack as they sail down into turns 6. That's not turns 6 and 7. They sail down into the final corner before exiting back up onto the NASCAR track. And that 84 is showing some speed for the first time tonight. He makes the lunge towards the lead. Now just a car length off the lead is Jacob Cochran. Can he make a push for 3 wins in a row to open the playoffs?
Yeah, there's Jacob Cochran, that guy who said that he wasn't that confident at road courses, and here he is right here in position to possibly be able to, sweep this round right here. Oh, look at him close up right here into the backstretch chicane, putting a lot of pressure right here on Andrew Allen. We're going to see right here what he can do into the next chicane, this front stretch chicane right here, see if he can make as much ground up under braking as he did right there. The brakes on that number 84 machine, Ellis, they look like they are really, really good right here. Andrew Allen does an awesome job as well. We're not surprised at all to see the speed that we've seen out of Allen tonight.
Speaking of speed, producer Johnny, you think in this battle box we can get it fired up and maybe it'll work here at the Roval and see just how these pace times compare for each of these drivers. Looking to see if Jacob Cochran if we are correct that he is faster, and yes, it does appear so based on our live predictions. 2 laps from a pass for the lead for Jacob Cochran based on the last lap time, and I think Christian Barnes might be making an even bigger case for him being a favorite to win this race. As we look further back to that number 27, Christian Barnes, just as fast, and both of those drivers struggle a little bit through that corner. It's about 4 car lengths separating each of the top 3.
Yeah, Christian Barnes right there got really sideways right there in turn 5, but did a nice job of keeping it straight, keeping it under control. While we watch this battle going on right here, while we watch these guys battle it out, I wonder if maybe we can go side by side and look at our driver right here that we're going to keep our eyes on. That's Evan Janik in the number 71. Here he is working his way through NASCAR 1 and 2. And I wanted to bring your attention to him right here because he is approaching his next, I don't want to call them victims, but the next positions here on track. That's a 0-4 of Nick Raffini and Michael Wade just ahead. He is in this 8th position, Ellis, 7.5 seconds off the lead. He has time. I think he could possibly do it if he's able to maintain his pace.
I think you are right. If he can make a clean pass here on Michael Wade, as we watch in the bottom right hand of the screen, he makes it through cleanly, hits that curbing, struggles on the exit of that final chicane. Michael Wade going to force the issue with the momentum down into turn 1. Evan Janik's got to clear this battle quickly if he's going to make good on that, getting back to the front after a late race penalty at the conclusion of stage 2. Put him almost 10 plus seconds back. Driver number 71 now within 6.7 seconds. 1 car off the front. Is that Andrew Allen? Big struggle for what was the leader in that number 96. We'll can't see if we can figure out what happened to the leader, but big moment. That is a big win if you're an Evan Janik fan, as Connor Lyons is. What happened to the 96?
Oh, and he got a little bit wide. Yeah, when he came back over the curbing. Yeah, came back over the curbing. He went wide, kind of like how he's done all night.
Struggling as well. Raffini as well out to the front straightaway. Big trouble. Sorry to interrupt, Chris, but 2 drivers running inside the top 5. Gavin Henson and Nick Raffini had trouble. It looked like 2 separate incidents there. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good right here. We're going to go back to see if we can see what happened to Nick Ruffini, and yeah, he closed up on the rear bumper of the number 3 machine, and yeah, just looped it around right there. Didn't want to make contact with the number 3, and also the number 39 of Gavin Henson also had some trouble as well. Johnny, we can go live here, and we might be able to, I think that I have it in the replay right here, and I think there was some contact from behind the number 51 machine of Kenneth Cucko. Oh yeah, so the 39 looked like he got loose right there entering turn 7, or actually on the throttle of turn 7, and that number 51 machine just had nowhere to go and made some contact with the left rear. Yeah, that's just close racing. I don't think that was anything intentional by any means, but unfortunate for Gavin Henson.
Unfortunate indeed. Almost as unfortunate as Connor Lyons' joke in the chat, Chris. His pun was atrocious. He says Janik was on a roll at the Roval. Get out of here, Connor. I'm gonna take a point away from you in the leaderboard for that one. I'm just kidding. I can appreciate a good pun as much as the next guy, if not more. Connor, we're glad you are here, man. Thanks for tuning in on the regular. And that is the case for everyone else in the chat right now who's tuned in to watch the conclusion of the cutoff race for the round of 12 here for the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. You're watching on board Christian Barnes, who's currently scored as the leader. And what a recovery, Chris, for Christian Barnes, who we thought was out of it early on. And I kind of said lightly, you never know what might happen. He might be able to come up from 12th to get back up to the lead. And look what has happened. Man, I should play the lottery because that 27 is built a 2.7 second lead, Chris. Now for Evan Janik, it's a 5.2 second lead, or a gap that he's got to close. You're watching that number 71 car. Johnny, this might be a good idea. You read my mind, my friend. Look at that. Evan Janik, 5 laps. Is that 5 or 9? My eyes are not as good as they used to be. 5 laps for that number 71 to get to the back bumper of Christian Barnes. But as the saying goes, catching him is one thing, passing him is another, Chris.
Yeah, it is right there. And yeah, he's going to have to get around Jacob Cochran and Kenneth Cucko, who are fast in their own right, Ellison. Yeah, it's going to be tough. He definitely has the pace. He has the speed to do it. He has the time to do it as well. Just can't afford any mistakes. The margin of error is really, really close right here. And yeah, our battle box projection right here has him making the pass on Kenneth Cucko in 5 laps. I think it might change on this lap because he's that much quicker this lap than he was the previous lap so far. Here he is right here working his way behind Kenneth Cucko right here, coming up on the backstretch chicane. And that's Jacob Cochran just ahead. Cucko locks him up right there to avoid contact with Jacob Cochran, and that's going to give Janik a run.
Big run for Janik, who looked like he was going to try to go by the outside. Now it's going to be the inside. Cucko going up, maybe letting Janik by here, realizing this is an important, critical juncture in the playoffs for multiple drivers, including Cochran and Janik. And right now, this is setting up to be a battle between the top 2 in the playoff seeding, Cochran and Janik, in that order accordingly. And it's not even going to be a battle, Chris. Janik makes that move to the inside, and he's going to slide by Cochran, who looks like he's dealing with an ill-handling race car. But Kenneth Cucko has not let Evan Janik get away. Chris, maybe we can go on an onboard ride with Janik here the next time by, so we can walk the fans at home through what a lap around the Roval looks like. And he's going to have open track in front of him to probably put down a big heater of a lap as Christian Barnes continues to lead by about now almost 5 seconds. Janik, though, has 12 laps to make it happen.
Yeah, Evan Janik just doing a masterful job. Kenneth Cucko, you know, pouncing on the opportunity to get around that number 84 machine of Jacob Cochran right there, following suit. Yeah, Evan Janik's got the time. These past couple laps seems to have possibly hurt him as far as like the overall distance, or excuse me, the last lap has. But you can see him make it up quite a bit right there into the backstretch chicane right there. Just looking at the gap right there. We're going to go on board with him right here as he comes up to the completion of this lap. And yeah, we'll take a lap on board right here. Just talk through a lap around the Roval. Like I said, this is a really tricky track, a track that I struggle at quite a bit. But this guy right here is the guy to ride on board with right here as we come down the front stretch, get really close to that outside wall right there. Heavy on the brakes right there. Try to get wide to give yourself the best entry into turn 1. Heartburn turn right here. Turn 2, bit of a strange corner right here. Car wants to get a little bit loose in this left-hander right here. And this is the part right here, Ellis, where I feel the most sort of vulnerable. I feel the most loose on the racetrack through turn 3, through turn 4. Coming up down here in this little bit of straightaway right here, try to get off as close to the grass as I can. A fast right-hander into turn 5. And this is the new part of the track right here, this longer straightaway right here. That is in turn 6, and working our way right here down into turn 7. Heavy braking into turn 7 as it come onto the NASCAR portion of the track. This is NASCAR turns 1 and 2. Turn 8 on the Roval. Right here, you can kind of let this car stretch its legs a little bit. You can kind of rest and relax a little bit yourself as well. Don't have many opportunities around here, but it's short-lived as you work your way down the backstretch and approach the backstretch chicane. This is turn 10, turn 11, a little bit of lap traffic up ahead as they approach turn 12. That's Zach White, one of the drivers fighting to get into the next round of the playoffs. He's going to stay high for Evan Janik as he works his way through NASCAR turns 3 and 4. Off of NASCAR turns 3 and 4, you're going to come to the front stretch chicane right here. Heavy brakes right here. Got to really think about how you want to set up your passes through here. This right here is turn 15, 16, and 17. Really rough across the turtles and across the line.
Great call, Chris. We'll let you take a break here for a second. 2.5 seconds separate first to second. Catching you up, Evan Janik, that car you're watching right now has led pretty much the majority of this race through the first stages, but a critical off-road penalty mistake he made put him in a bad situation when he had to pit for a stop and go, or drive through I should say, at the beginning of stage number 3, putting him back all the way to 12th position. But in the past 9 laps or so, driver number 71 has climbed from 12th all the way up to 2nd, now just 2.3 seconds off the lead. He's looking to close the gap to the number 27 of Christian Barnes, and you can see the battle box says it is looking good for driver number 71, but folks, we've been saying it all night long. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another. Another thing to keep an eye on here is how much of the juice is out of those tires on the 71. Is the grippy grip gone from those tires? Christian Barnes has maybe had the opportunity to take his easy, to save. Evan Janik has had to give it his all, and as we watch right now, looking at the tire degradation, those lap times have declined a little bit for Janik. We'll be keeping an eye on how they compare here over the next couple of laps between him and Christian Barnes, but the lead is now down to 1.6 seconds, Chris. This feels inevitable.
Yeah, it does right here, and Christian Barnes is doing everything right. He isn't making any mistakes. He's being really smooth out here on the track. It just kind of speaks to the speed out of the number 71 of Evan Janik. Barnes, I think that if Christian Barnes, if he does come out of here with a second place finish, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but if he does come out of here with a second place finish, with the way that the night started, I think that he's probably going to be very happy with that, considering, the damage he had earlier. I saw the hood flapping around on that 27 machine. It looked like it might be a little bit of a difficult night right here, but he's persevered and has found himself right here in the lead with just 9 laps to go.
He is in the lead right now on the leaderboard for our mini chat games. Fan of the race, Alex Pollock has 14 points. Connor Lyon has 13 points. John Rapp has 11. Brianna Fondren has 8. Those are your top 4 at the moment. Folks, get those comments in. Every comment earns you a point towards winning that free pack of NASCAR trading cards. And speaking of Connor, Chris, you know what he's asking for. Producer Johnny, you know what Connor Lyons is asking for. I think it might be time to crank it up for a lap here at the Roval. Oh, Janik, big moment, Chris. Big moment for Evan Janik. Something just happened to the driver 71. Did he have another off-road penalty?
Oh, no, yeah, so he is about 6 seconds back now. We're going to go back. I'm going to go back to see if I can see possibly what happened. And I think that he actually had a connection issue.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. He disappeared on my screen as well, and before you knew it, he was 6 seconds back. Weird turn of events there. Rough night, bout of bad luck for the 71, and as they went through the chicane, you saw exactly what happened. Blinked out, and suddenly he was back 6 seconds behind Chris, but he's 5.7 now, so he's back at it. He's, as the kids say, locked in here for the final 8 laps of this Roval race, the 9/11 race to remember for Mystic Racing League in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. It is going to be a doozy, folks, here in the final laps. Evan Janik has led most of the way, now doing everything he can to track back down Christian Barnes. I think, Chris, that battle box is going to come even more premium here as we try to keep an eye on Ken Janik. Make it happen. We're going to have to wait a lap or so to see that lap time catch up and see if Janik is bound to pass that 71 or that 27, but it just got a whole lot harder.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of an issue right here in, I think that's Michael Wade and the 77 machine. Yeah, that was, I think that might have been an unsafe rejoin right there. We might be, I think I might have it right here, Johnny. Johnny's got it right here. He's going to go back right here and see what happened. This is Michael Wade and Nick Ruffini battling really hard for the 7th position. And I think Zach White had trouble up ahead of these guys. They're approaching turn 7 right here, Ellis. And yeah, he starts to rejoin right there when those leaders were coming up on him. And that's a really, really tough break right there for Michael Wade and Nick Ruffini. Luckily for those guys, I don't think the damage is too significant.
And for Zach White, he was already running in 13th position. He was a playoff driver on the bubble. That's all but going to settle it. That 77 not going to advance in to round number 2 of the playoffs. But a great season for that 77 of Zach White. Doesn't have anything to hang his head about. He'll continue on. Hopefully we'll see him at Kansas next week for that beginning of the round of 8. That lead continues to shrink for Evan Janik, working his way closer and closer towards Christian Barnes. It's now down to 4 seconds, and that 71 is a man on a mission, maybe even more determined than he was before. 43 laps of 49 have elapsed here at the Roval. It's going to be a barn burner. One car, that might have been the 51 off the wall right behind Evan Janik. I believe that was the 51 car who struggled. Maybe not. Maybe who was that? That was Joshua Gillen in that 10 Patriotic machine who struggled off the corner. Just lit those tires up at the wrong time.
Yeah, Joshua Gillen is actually in the pits, Ellis, and I do have a replay right here of what happened to Joshua Gillen. If we want to take a look at that, Joshua Gillen was he was under some pressure right here from Evan Janik, and this is big for the championship points right here. He goes wide right here, and yeah, as he hits the gas right here, he goes head on into the wall, and that's engine damage, a meatball flag for the number 10 machine. He came into this race 1 point to the good.
1 point to the good indeed, and really what I'm seeing right now as a best case scenario, he's looking at a 16th, 15th, 16th place finish, 1 point to the good. Reggie Kime currently running in the 11th position. I think Reggie Kime is going to be the biggest beneficiary, but also Zach White, who's currently in 13th right now behind Joshua Gillen, might benefit from that a little bit, but we might be looking at your 8th and final driver into the round of 8, the second round. That was Reggie Kime there in that number 9. Gillen on the pit road right now, not where you want to see that driver, the number 10, if you're rooting for him in the chat right now. Speaking to chat, get those comments in, folks. Let us know. Are you happy about what you're seeing? Do you think Janik's going to be able to pull off this win? He's now within 2.6 seconds. The 71 closing in about 15 car lengths off the back bumper, and you can see the number there. Pass projected in 0 laps. I'm not sure if we're having a malfunction. 2 laps there. Now it's corrected. 2 laps is projection, but Chris, there are 5 laps left, and I have a feeling that pace might slow down before we get to the end of this race. And we mentioned it, passing Christian Barnes is going to be a whole different thing from catching the back of that number 27 as they make their way through the chicane, which is now coming to 4 laps remaining for Christian Barnes to hold on to this. Evan Janik finds something from within after pretty much having every potential thing go wrong for him. After dominating the first half of this race, it's been a tumultuous second half for the beginning of stage 3 onward, and he's looking to cap it off with an amazing comeback in that number 71.
Yeah, as he gets closer and closer to Christian Barnes, that dirty air will affect the nose of that 71 a little bit more, That car will get a little bit he'll be experiencing a little bit more understeer in these corners here. Also, the tires. You just got to question how much abuse have these tires taken as they have come up through the field as he's been battling it out for these positions. We've seen him make a couple of, very late braking maneuvers. That puts just more heat, more temperature in those front tires, causes that tire pressure to build up right there. Evan is just so good under braking. That's where he's making up so much of his time here on Christian Barnes up ahead. You saw just how much ground he gained right there in the front stretch chicane. All of it, almost all of it on corner entry, and even some of it on exit right here. He's got it down to just about a second now.
It is going to be close. We're coming to 3 to go here from the Roval, folks. If you are just joining us, you have chosen the best time, and we are so glad you found us. Send your friends in here to watch the conclusion of what is setting up to be the finish of the season. As if Bristol wasn't enough last week, we're going to come down to the wire here at the Roval. That's Christian Barnes, just about 8 car lengths up in front of Evan Janik. Barnes, early trouble. This has been a story of 2 races, almost inverse. Flip the script. Christian Barnes started off with a big crash, had to use his quick repair, 12th, 13th position, but has worked his way back up to the lead. Evan Janik dominated the race for the first half, leading all 25 laps for the first 2 stages. But since his experience problem after problem, setting him back at least 25 seconds, but now it's down to less than a second. Half of a second separate the number 27 from the 71. And Chris, if you're looking on the mirror of Christian Barnes, you don't want to see that 71 looming even bigger corner after corner.
You sure don't right there. And yeah, you can see right here, just look at them under braking right there into the chicane. We saw Evan Janik in the previous lap. He was really fast through turn 1, all the way through turn 1, under braking and on acceleration on exit. Oh, he kind of missed it right there. He missed the apex right there in turn 1. Kind of missed that curbing. Was a little bit wide right there, and he lost some ground to Christian Barnes in the process.
Christian Barnes now, look at how hard Evan Janik drives it into the corner, almost peels up to the back bumper of Christian Barnes. That's going to be a big turn of events. We thought the 71 was really going to struggle, at least after that last mistake. Barnes is going to make up for that on the exit of that chicane. Coming to 2 to go here. Look how hard, Chris, you mentioned it. That 71 is gaining on entry incredibly right now.
Yeah, he is right there as they are working their way through NASCAR turns 1 and 2 right now. Christian Barnes, Evan Janik. Elsa, I think that maybe, I don't know if you're
good.
Okay.
I caught up.
No, you're good. And yeah, they're making their way down the backstretch right here. Evan Janik under braking right here. Man, look how much ground he gains right there. A lot of ground gained right there for Evan Janik under braking to the chicane. Coming to 2 laps to go here.
2 laps indeed, and it's about 2 car lengths that separate the leader, Christian Barnes, from the front bumper of that 71 of Janik, who's going to take a lunge down into the inside in the front stretch apex. There it is.
Contact!
Contact between the leaders. Janik calls back up onto the track. Christian Barnes and Evan Janik make contact across the start-finish line. 2 laps to go. Let us know if you're enjoying this in the chat. It is going to be an amazing finish. Just 2 laps left here in Charlotte.
2 laps to go right here, and yeah, we saw Evan Janik. There was contact, but I don't think Janik made the chicane right there on the front stretch. I'm not sure what the race control is going to rule right there. Looks like they're allowing them to race right here as Evan Janik and Christian Barnes made that contact, put Evan Janik into the infield turf right there. Now he's putting some pressure right here on Christian Barnes as they approach turn 7 onto the NASCAR banking.
The pressure has not let up on Christian Barnes from Evan Janik in the last 10 laps or so. Janik loose off the corner, doing everything he can to gain an advantage on his counterpart, the number 27 of Christian Barnes, a lap and a half remaining here from the Roval. Christian Barnes has remained winless since his win at Charlotte earlier on in the season. And Chris, wouldn't it be a massive comeback if he could do it again here, but on a completely different track, the Roval? Barnes has won the first 4 races of the Octane Outlaws Cup Series. He's looking to win the first playoff race for that number 27. He's got 1 lap left to do it as they cross onto the front straightaway. They're going to see the white flag wave in the air to get ready to make their final lap around here. 2 car lengths separate the leaders.
He had a little bit of trouble right there on the front stretch chicane, kind of missed the second turn of it. He was driving in so deep right there, talking about Evan Janik, and he lost a little bit of ground to Christian Barnes. He's going to have a couple more opportunities, I think, to make this pass. Christian Barnes has got to hold on through these a couple passing zones left.
They're going to be coming up on the lap car of Reggie Kime, a playoff contender. Looks like he's bound to make the round of 8, but it's all about these first 2 drivers, Christian Barnes, Evan Janik. They work their way through the midway complex of the infield, getting ready to make that final turn onto the front stretch. Reggie Kime, big trouble in front of he locks it up, gets it sideways. He's gonna park it, peels off the track, lets the leaders by here potentially as they cross down into NASCAR 1 and 2.
He's going to stay high right here through 1 and 2. Christian Barnes is looking at Evan Janik. Just 2 more opportunities, really. Right here, the backstretch chicane right here. Can Evan Janik get under the braking right here? He's looking left. He doesn't have an opportunity right here, but he does gain some ground on Christian Barnes. Can he stay close to him all the way to the front stretch right here? His last chance.
Janik makes the lunge. He's got one last lunge to make. He pushed the envelope the last time around. Will he do even more this time? 8 car lengths separate second from first. Barnes and Janik hit that final corner down onto the front straightaway. Close call. Can Janik get by? Photo finish at the line. Christian Barnes from worst to first here at the Charlotte Roval. What a finish for race number 3 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series playoffs here at the Roval. That's going to be the first place finisher. Janik finishes second. Andrew Allen walks away with that 3rd place finish. Chris, wow.
Yeah, wow indeed. A great job by Christian Barnes. A great job by Evan Janik as well, recovering all those positions lost, battling it out right there with Christian Barnes. A clean battle for the win right there between them. Man, it doesn't get any better than that, Ellis.
That was a wild finish, and it didn't end the way I thought it was going to win. And I thought Janik was going to make the lunge, but it turned out it was a bit of a mistake by Barnes on the exit, getting off really slow, opened the door for Janik, who almost pulled off what would have been the upset in the last lap.
Yeah, we got a battle right here going on for the 7th position. This is Nick Ruffini trying to make the pass right here on Michael Wade as they come to the line right here. Ruffini's got one more chance right here into the front stretch chicane. Ruffini is going to get close. Oh, and he locks him up right there. And yeah, that was almost some contact right there. I think that he didn't want to do that.
I think that was a good call indeed. Michael Wade walks away with that 7th place finish for the number 3. Nick Ruffini not too far behind both those drivers. Great race for them. It's going to be Pollock and Jewett to round out your top 10. We're going to take a minute to catch our breath, folks. That was a wild one to finish this thing out. We're going to hear from our partners at AmSoil as we are going to come back for those post-race interviews and hear from the top 3. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Back here in Charlotte, what an amazing finish, folks, you just witnessed between Christian Barnes and Evan Janik. We're going to hear from those two, but first we're going to hear from our 3rd place finisher, Andrew Allen. This is Ellis Thomas and Chris Smith up in the Slingshot TV booth. You got a copy, driver number 96.
I got you, boys.
Ooh, boy. Well, you had great run tonight. It went, all over the place. It seemed like tonight was a story of ups and downs for a lot of drivers. You went with track position early on, and it seemed like it was going to benefit you. Walk us through kind of your mindset tonight and how the race developed for you over the course of these 49 laps.
Well, I was hoping to have a better starting position, but duty calls when my baby's crying. But started from the back, worked my way through the field. Once that first caution came out, I was like, okay, you know what? I might as well just top off on fuel, take some fresh tires. And I didn't realize that there was only 2 laps left on the stage. So I was like, okay, perfect. We'll stay at the stage, take some track position, and go from there. And unfortunately, I got a little throttle happy going over the rumble strips and put it on the inside wall. But had a good recovery, brought it home P3.
Man, you did an awesome job regardless. You've been great on the road courses all season long, man. We're looking forward to maybe seeing you next season in some of these races. Are we going to see the rest of this season in the playoffs, or are you done for the season?
Honestly, I was using tonight as a night to get used to the track configuration for tomorrow night. It's usually what I'll do with road courses, run the night before just so I have the track in mind, so it's fresh for tomorrow.
How's the situation for you over in the Cup Series races on Friday? How's that working out for you this season?
We're locked into the next round of the playoffs, but I'd like to have some extra security, extra playoff points going into the next round. Next round's going to be a little interesting with some interesting tracks. We'll call it that. But I think we're in a good situation to at least make it to the championship for the season.
We'll be watching you on Friday nights for that Octane Outlaws Cup Series playoffs, man. Before we let you go celebrate that 3rd place finish tonight, you got any shout out for the folks at home?
Yeah, I got the Precision Speed Solutions guys. If you guys need a setup, head to Precision Speed Solutions, and you'll have setups for every race. They are fast, they're quick. And the guys back at Fast 11 Motorsports, we are recruiting. If anyone out there wants to be on a road team, get in contact with me or Jackson Hautala. We're looking to expand for next year's endurance season.
All right, man. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on you on Fridays, and we hope to see you back next season. Congrats on that 3rd place finish. Go celebrate it with the baby.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, so you heard from Andrew Allen. Now it's time for runner-up, and what almost was the winner, Evan Janik. Chrissy's in the booth now.
Evan Janik, driver number 71. This is the Slingshot booth. You have a copy, bud.
Yeah, I got you.
And Evan, we saw that AmSoil machine up there in the front all night long. I'd like to go back a little bit. We know about the penalty in the drive-through that you had right there. You were making a valiant charge up through the field right there. We were watching you, pick off positions right and left. And it looked like you were going to have enough time to catch Christian Barnes there before the end of the race. With a few laps to go, was there some type of an issue, connection issue or something that resulted in maybe you losing some time on the track?
Yeah, coming into the last chicane right on the front stretch, had packet loss and my screen froze and lost about 6 seconds, and then when I came back it was like I never left, but I just lost all that time on track. So had to catch him twice, and still think I should have passed him. I just ran out of stuff at the end.
Man, you definitely gave it all you had out there. Racing really clean. It was great to watch, and I know that you're feeling pretty bummed out probably after that dominant performance, but yeah, you definitely had the speed all night and definitely showed them what you got. We're looking forward to seeing you on the track next week. Obviously, you're moving on to the next round of the playoffs, the next round at Kansas, Martinsville, Talladega. Well, what are your thoughts heading into those races? Is anything kind of worry you a little bit, maybe Talladega in that round?
Yeah, to be honest with you, all 3 of them worry me. I think I have the biggest advantage on the road courses. So throughout the year, everybody racing each other, I think that gap has closed a lot, not just with me, but with everybody on the 1.5 miles. So I think everybody in the playoffs will be really competitive. And with Martinsville, I won that in the spring or earlier, but I mean, Martinsville is a short track. Anything can happen. And just like today, it only takes one mistake for the whole race to go. So, and then Talladega's Talladega. So nothing's really straightforward in this round. Really the finish of this season.
Well, we know that you're going to be tough to handle no matter the track that's coming up. Before we let you go celebrate your great second place finish tonight, we're going to give the floor to you for any shout outs to friends, family, sponsors. The floor is all yours, bud.
Yeah, thanks to 5 Star Racing, Black Diamond Designs for making all these paints, Fall Creek Plumbing for sponsoring the series, and then Precision, their new partner, and I'm helping them out with setups. So not doing the pitch right because this is really new, but check them out for setups on iRacing for open stuff. And thank you to you guys for putting on a good show.
Well, thank you so much for putting on a great show as well. That's Evan Janik, our second place finisher tonight. Great run out there, bud. Keep your head up. Congratulations on a great finish.
Yep, thanks.
All right, that was the second place finisher, which means now it's time for the first place finisher, but we're going to build the anticipation a little bit, Chris, because I do know who has advanced to the playoffs, which one of those bubble drivers is in and which bubble driver is out. So if you're waiting to hear that, stick around until after this interview with race winner, and then we'll let you know the playoff picture headed into the round of 8 at Kansas. That means Christian Barnes is now in the broadcast booth. Christian, it's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up here for Slingshot TV. You got a copy from that 27 car.
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, man. Well, first of all, congratulations on, what felt like a really rough start to this race. You turned it around and ended up in victory lane. Congrats on what just was an amazing race for you. Walk us through how the race started and how you managed to get to where you finished.
Yeah, at the beginning of the race, my teammate kind of went off track, hit the wall, and kind of came back on, no control after that. And then the person in front of me clipped him, and I hit the brakes, locked it, couldn't, stop in time, got him. I got 8 minutes of damage, and I didn't want to waste the faster pair, so I was just fixing it every caution that I got, every stage. And when it came to the finals, after the end of stage 2, I was questioning if I should just fix it and, go to wherever I go or use a faster pair. And I decided, screw it, I'm going for the faster pair. I'm gonna, restart up, I think 6th, and just see what happens. I knew I was faster than at least, 5th and 4th. I just needed, to be there to get them. I didn't know what I had for the top 3, but once I got going, I was at least the second best car. I knew Janik, he had to go to the back, but I knew he was definitely the fastest car. He was, he was just incredible in the braking zones. But once I got the lead, once I think it was Andrew made that mistake, I just knew I just need to be consistent, don't make mistakes. And once Janik got to second, I was basically just looking at every time he gained on me, what corner it was, what I was doing different. And I started changing a few things, and at towards the end, he was only gaining on me in hard braking zones in the chicanes. So I tried it one time to brake a little later, but I just couldn't do it. So I was like, if he catches me, he catches me, but I'm not gonna change a thing. I don't want to cut the course. I don't want to make a mistake. Then it got to me, I think coming to 2 to go, he sent it in, missed the corner a little bit, and I was, giving as much room as possible so I didn't go off track with him. Made a little bit of contact, was able to get the lead back. And then it was, again, just holding on, not letting the emotions get to me, not overshooting any of the corners. And then that save corner, final chicane, I sent it a little too deep, almost completely missed the chicane, and then Janik got to me, and I just kept my foot in it, and somehow got it done.
Man, it was entertaining to watch from atop the press box, but I'm sure in the car it was far more exciting, and that heart rate was probably through the roof. Would have loved to seen what that was, but you put on a heck of a show, man, and this has been the first time we've seen you in victory lane. Correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Charlotte, your one win of the regular season?
Yes, it was.
So back in victory lane doesn't matter whether it's the Roval or the oval. What do you like so much about this track?
I've loved the Roval, even in the past games, even in real life. Just I think the one thing that I didn't really like the change, but it took half the race for me to figure it out, and I finally figured it out, and I was able to gain some more speed. I was putting my fastest laps at the end of the race, and I just made it happen.
Man, it was you definitely made it happen. This definitely locks you into the playoffs. You were pretty much there in the first place by starting this race, but we're headed to Kansas next week. What's it shaping up for the round of 8 for you? What track are you looking forward to? What track are you not looking forward to?
Honestly, Kansas probably is the main one I'm looking forward to, because that's a really fun track, especially for me. So, if I can get a win there, that'd be great. So I don't got to worry about the rest of them. But yeah, I think Kansas specifically, for sure.
Man, it probably felt good tonight, but you're on quite the roll over in the Friday night Octane Outlaws Cup Series. Talk to us about what's happening over there and how your title run is shaping up.
Oh, it's going great. I think I've got a top 3 in every race over there so far for the playoffs. It took a while for me to just take that one little step, to get a win. And finally, the moment I got it, I just, I'm finally on a roll. I'm finally, there. It's just being consistent, not making huge mistakes, just, being there. I don't lead a lot of laps, but, I'm always right there just in case. And I've been able to make it happen. Now I just got to do that in this series as well.
It sounds like you have someone who's a little upset with you. I got to ask, is it a baby or a cat?
It's my cat.
Tell him we said hey up from Slingshot TV. We love kitties around here, and he's celebrating the win with you, I'm sure, or she. Congrats, man. You got any shout outs before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, I want to shout out Alex Fogg for making my paint schemes. I want to shout out Gavin and Brad. I hate what happened to Gavin at the end of this race. It's unfortunate. I also want to thank Precision for adding me on. And I want to thank Janik for, racing me hard, but, clean, we made contact, but we kept it straight. We kept it going. So I appreciate that from him.
Man, you put on a good show. Congratulations. We'll look forward to seeing you over at Kansas next week, my friend.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good one.
You too. All right, Chris, Johnny, that was a heck of a finish. It feels like we've had time to catch our breath, but a couple major announcements for you folks watching at home. First of all, the pack of Panini NASCAR trading cards, maybe with a driver autograph in the pack, goes to Alex Pollock tonight. How he managed to be part of that chat and keep it going, and also race at the same time and end up finishing 9th, I will never know, but great job to Alex, Connor, everyone else who participated, Brianna, John, Muck D, everyone in the chat tonight. We appreciate every single one of y'all. Y'all are what we do this for. We enjoy it immensely and love to hear from y'all. So thank you for tuning in. The other announcement, Chris, is that driver who makes it into the playoffs. We have a pretty clear playoff picture at this moment. Alex Pollock is in. Derek Jewett is in. And then the big bubble battle is between Joshua Gillen and Reggie Kime. And I can confirm that Reggie Kime is going to be in, Chris, but it was on a tiebreaker.
Oh, wow.
Those two drivers finished dead even in the end of round number 1 here, the cutoff race, and the tiebreaker went to Reggie Kime with a higher finish at Atlanta last week. So congratulations to Reggie Kime. Josh Gillen had a great season, had a good run tonight, 12th position, but it just wasn't enough. 1 position behind Reggie Kime for that playoff berth, and he's going to lose out tonight. But awesome bubble battle we had here tonight, which leads us to talking about the finishing results over these 49 laps here at Charlotte. What a great race it was. We saw Christian Barnes, Evan Janik duel it out at the end there for the win. Andrew Allen, we heard from him, finished 3rd. Jacob Cochran, solid night. I still mark him down as the playoff favorite to win the championship. He's finished 4th tonight. Kenneth Kuko in that number 51, we saw him up front most of the evening. He finishes 5th. Gavin Henson, you saw it, late race problems for the number 39 have struck again, but he holds on to a 6th place finish and easily walks into round number 2 of the playoffs. Michael Wade with a 7th place finish tonight in that number 3. He had a fast hot rod with newcomer Nick Raffini. Also had some trouble tonight, but ends up eighth place in that 04. Alex Pollock also advancing to the next round of the playoffs in that 9th position, with Derek Jewett, another driver moving on to round 2 of the playoffs in that number 45 car tonight. Chris, I'll let you round out the top 20.
And how about that 11th place finisher advancing into the next round of the playoffs? Reggie Kine persevering all night tonight, finishes in the 11th spot. Joshua Gillen, heartbreaker for the driver of the number 10, finishing on a tiebreaker. He made a valiant effort. He's going to be thinking back to that spin that we saw on the infield portion of the racetrack when he went head on into the wall. Thinking about what might have been possibly for Joshua Gillen. Zach White, unfortunately, his playoff run is going to come to an end. He's going to finish in 13th. Adam Holson, we saw him throw in the towel early on after some trouble early in the race. He's going to finish in 14th. Brad T. Nelson, another driver who experienced some trouble tonight. We saw him with some engine damage after some contact into the heartburn turn. He's going to finish in 15th. Caleb Hunt, his playoff run is also going to come to an end, unfortunately. He's going to finish in the 16th position. All these drivers you're seeing right here had trouble early on. Justin Miller, also one of them, finished in the 17th position. Casey Bristow, unfortunately for him, also going to finish in the 18th spot. David Moyer tried valiantly to get into the playoffs. Couldn't make it. He's going to finish tonight in the 19th position. And our fearless Mystic Racing League admin, Brandon Willard, who gives us all that helpful information, he's going to finish in the 20th spot tonight.
It was a great race from green flag to checkered flag. We saw lots of racing. We saw lots of passing. We saw a lot of mistakes, but also this was a track that typically tests the skills and patience of drivers. And it was a long race. 49 laps around this Roval is no easy feat, but these drivers, they did a great job tonight. You heard the finishing results. You heard from the top 3. You heard who moves on to the playoffs and who is out of the playoffs. It was an amazing night indeed, but the night of racing the week of racing is not over. In just less than a week, we've got the UD Awards ARCA series for Slingshot Racing League. Race number 2, Monday night, 8:40 Eastern time. They're headed to Lime Rock. Chris, you and I are going to be racing in that, and I am looking forward to it. I'll probably be pretty terrible, but those cars going around Lime Rock is going to be a fun one to watch. Johnny, you and Justin are in the booth for that race. What are you looking forward to? What are you watching for that one?
Well, I'll tell you what, I do love me some road course racing, and those ARCA cars are a blast to drive on the road courses. So, I mean, it's a short little road course, and that coming up that hill, man, it's going to be really excited to watch how everybody handles that. Could be some chaos, but yeah, I think everybody's going to have a really good time with that one, and hopefully everybody puts on an exciting race.
We'll look forward to the call from you and Justin Wilson. Y'all are doing a great job. Can't wait to be part of it on Monday. And then next Thursday, we're off next Wednesday in the stand-up fight series, but that's a typical Wednesday series. Those have been some amazing races. If you didn't check out last night's Bristol race, go back and watch it. I know Chris Smith does not want to watch it again, but it was a good one. Thursday, 1 week from today, it begins round number 2. Just 4 races left in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. We're headed to Kansas, folks. That is going to be a great one. We're going to be giving away a Jeff Gordon 1/24th scale Wizard of Oz diecast car in honor of that race number 1 of round 2 at Kansas. And then you can see later on in the week following Monday, it's race number 3 of the UD Awards ARCA series from Iowa. What a great track. It's a great lineup of racing over the next 7 days or so. I think that's pretty much all I've got. You guys have any final thoughts before we pack it up and head on up north/west to Kansas? I know it's not the northwest, but the direction we'll be traveling is northwest.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the action at Kansas. What an interesting round coming up here, Ellis. We go to Kansas, Talladega, Martinsville. Couldn't be 3 more different styles of racetracks. Kansas is very interesting because it does have multi-grooves, the progressive banking there. Sometimes you go there and the high lane is very, very dominant. And, in other times, all 3 lanes are pretty equal. So I'm going to be interested to see how these Xfinity cars, after the recent updates, see how they fare there at Kansas before we head on into a couple of wild cards at Talladega and Martinsville.
It's going to be wild. Johnny, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. I know after they updated the Xfinity car, Kansas has been quite a bit of a handful, at least from what I can remember. So it's going to be fun to watch everybody struggling with the handling of the car, and yeah, it's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Lots to keep an eye on over the next week, folks. Lots of great racing tonight. It delivered 100% for the Mystic Racing League. It was the 9/11 Race to Remember 180 here from the Roval for all those who were affected by those tragedies back in 2001 and still continue to deal with it. We continue to think about you, and we continue to honor the sacrifice that those first responders made that day and all the families affected. And I think that's going to do it for tonight, folks. We appreciate you tuning in. It was a great race. We're glad you found us. And we'll catch y'all later on in the week. Monday from Lime Rock. We'll be back, folks. Have a great weekend. So long for now from the Roval.
Whether it's a sudden leak or a project you've been meaning to tackle, Fall Creek Plumbing is here to help. Serving all of Central Indiana, we're a small family-owned business based in Pendleton, built on honesty, quality, and care. From slab leaks and water heaters to full plumbing upgrades and everyday maintenance, our team brings experience and craftsmanship to every job, big or small. It's not just about fixing problems, it's about providing reliable, long-term solutions for your home. At Fall Creek Plumbing, we believe in showing up on time, treating your home with respect, and doing the job right the first time. Because peace of mind shouldn't be a luxury, it should be the standard. Fall Creek Plumbing, local, reliable, professional, and proud sponsor of Mystic Racing League,